Torujin, Violet, Ghost King, Symbol, Swoosh, Ace, Creator, Sniper, Yu-Gi-Oh, Kid, Happy, City, Leon, Maru, Drasticity, Kanji, Curious, Nasty, Lino, Naniwa, Marin King, TaeJa, MC, Oji, Supernova, Gumiho, Hyoro, Party, Squatter, Genius, Longlegu, MVP.
Welcome to the GSL Code S. Tastes and our Toast is here bringing you the best StarCraft 2, the best esports action in the whole freaking world.
The whole place.
The whole
all
universe.
put together.
Yes.
Not as good as here.
How are you doing today, Artosis?
You know what? Actually, I was doing pretty well, and then I got this glass of water to drink, and like one fuzzy is in it. And I have to see down at the bottom. It was up at the top, and it's saying. Now, here's the question. Can you drink a glass of water that has a fuzzy in it without... I mean, I can do it without drinking the fuzzy, but is the glass of water... Do I have to throw this away? Can I just drink it?
Well, I think we're not short on water here in Korea, so I would
have to sit here and cast.
Oh, that's true.
And I'm, like, really parched. Like, you think it's okay for me to just drink it?
I think it's actually okay. I would do it.
Like, as long as I dodge the fuzzy?
Yeah, as long as you dodge it.
All right.
All right, guys. Welcome to the GSL. It is so good to have you guys here today. We are still early on in the tournament. We're watching these guys slowly go to the round of 16. And, you know, it's pretty sick to see the players that have moved on so far. A lot of good Zergs.
Yes, indeed. 4 Zergs have gone up, and 5 Terrans, 5 Protoss. Pretty sick. That's a good balance, and today we're going to have to see how it finishes up.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting to the tail end of this. By the way, go on the internet and participate in our polling, where you can actually vote on who you think is going to move on and who's going to go out of the tournament. It's a great way for actually Artosis and myself to see where everybody else stands, because we already have our own opinions and stuff like that, but when we get to see what you guys think, it could be pretty surprising
to see who's overrated and underrated.
Right.
Oh, the producer brought me a glass of water.
Oh, wow.
I already took a sip out of the fuzzy one. Thank you, though.
To our amazing PD. Time.
Oh, I can't put that up there.
You can't. That looks terrible, Artosis.
That looks terrible. I'm going to put that on the ground.
Right,
watch me kick it over later in the computer and get electrocuted.
There's like electricity popping out. Eventually the studio burns down. All right, well, now you're hydrated. Okay, we're ready to do this.
You know what? What a wonderful tournament we have here at GOMTV.
Yes, we do.
The producer hears me talking about a fuzzy in my water and saves
me. We got a crisis going on here.
Man.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're going to be okay.
Break glass with a hammer and take out a cup of water.
Pull the fire alarm.
Fuzzyless water. All right, now I'm in a great mood. Things are going great. Tasteless, how's it going for you?
I'm doing great. I actually had a whole bunch of hot water I could have given you over here, but I didn't want to.
I want cooler water.
Okay, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
You know, I want to talk for a second about Symbol. I am so excited to see this guy move through this tournament. I have not been this pumped for a new Zerg in a long time.
It's funny because after watching him, I feel like the whole world is gray. Like, I watched him, and then I'm like, oh, nothing else can compare.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. Actually, yesterday we had some pretty crazy games as well. What were your thoughts, Artosis, of the players that got through?
You know what? Yesterday was pretty good. I wasn't surprised with the results overall. Oz getting last place. I thought he'd probably get third.
It was too bad that Maru didn't really play that well. But at the same time, it's exciting to see Violet improving. Do you realize at the GSL we've actually, for the longest period of time, had like the same 4 good Zergs, and that's it?
Yeah, for a long time.
It's like been like Nesty and Leenock and a few others, but
that's true.
Now, I mean, Violet's moving up in the ranks. Symbol's come out of freaking nowhere.
Yeah.
Again, it is kind of sad. I really enjoyed Maru's games, but you know he just wasn't up to par. By the way, Oz with some very disappointing games. That's not the Oz I know. I hope he can make it back here into the Code S. And of course, today we got some very, very cool matches that we're going to be casting for you guys. Players like TaeJa, players like Ace. It's going to be sick.
That's right. Not just players like TaeJa and Ace, but also like Ryung and Leenock. Not like exactly those players, in fact, Tasteless.
Yes. It's going to be pretty wild. Let's take a closer look at these guys. Liquid TaeJa. Very, very solid player.
Oh, yeah. He's done so well in online cups. One of the only Koreans to make the final bracket at DreamHack.
Ace, of course, he actually won the best ceremonies
Yes, he
last year. I thought actually MC was going to get it, or Genius or somebody, but he did. Slayers, Young, the Terran versus Terran expert.
Yeah, his TVP looks a little bit weak, so if he hits a Protoss, it might be a little bit hard.
And finally, we have an MLG champion, Leenock. Very young, not as young as Maru, but pretty damn young.
Yeah.
I wonder what it would actually be like to be that age to be a pro gamer in this setting.
It's crazy.
Unlike us,
Kinda
where
wild.
it's like, well, I'm going to go microwave my pizza rolls at, 2 in the morning, and then I'm going to go try to grind out, try to get some games against Koreans here.
Yeah.
The infrastructure for esports internationally is just astounding now.
Oh, I know. It's so big. Houses all over the world. It's great to see, though, TaeJa. This is what I always dreamed it could be. Not that it would be, but that it could be in a perfect world. So I guess the world's perfect.
Yep, I guess life's fair after all. Pro gamers exist, and when you grow up, you get your own StarCraft 2 TV show. I guess the world's fair after all.
Seems right. All right, TaeJa versus Ace. First map, Daybreak. Countdown has begun.
It's time, guys. We've already gone through most of the round of 32. It's time to do the ending parts of this to see what the final makeup of the round of 16 is going to be. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis. We're Tasteosis, the casting Archon here in Seoul, Korea, bringing you the best of esports action you could possibly imagine, known as the GSL Code S. I didn't even notice that. This map section was made by a Prime member.
Yeah, a lot more, actually.
I actually,
Ellis
I never read it.
I guess Ellis is
Props to him for that. Over here in the orange, actually, we have our Terran player, a member of the site TeamLiquid.net. He is
Liquid TaeJa.
If that Prime player ever makes it into the Code S, he'll probably walk his SCV in a certain pattern in the middle of the map and suddenly get a battle cruiser, and we're like, wait, what? What?
There's a special dance he has to do to unlock that. In the upper right, we have our Protoss player. Very solid, very good. Let's see how he does in this round. He is
Starting Ace.
There he is.
And Ace made more of his debut in the Team League.
Yeah.
I think he was doing some stuff in the individual leagues, but
Yeah, he did win that IM, so
that's
that
right.
was pretty big.
Was
but
that
was
the
a
one
long
in
time
China,
ago.
or
No, it was. I believe it was the World Championships in Germany, Hanover.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
I do believe it was.
There's so many
a bit
esports
back
events
ago.
going on these days.
Well, he's been overshadowed so far by Squirtle and Parting, two other Protosses on his team. Now, some might say, it's hard to get your name known as a top Protoss when those two are on your team, but at the same time, they are very useful to learn from.
Yeah, they really are.
We did see a little bit of his skill in the Team League this past week. Hopefully he can show us a lot more of it here tonight.
I feel like Ace is one of those players that, at least for me, I have players I really focus on. Like, I'm always excited to cast Genius's games.
Yeah.
Or Leenock's actually another example. I'm like,
Sure.
oh, cool, Leenock, let's do this. But, Ace is somebody I kind of, I tend to forget about until I, check the schedule that morning, and I'm like, oh, okay, Ace is playing. That's right. I forgot he's in this. He's, for me, kind of one of these dark horse players. We'll see how far along he gets here. Yeah. Because the StarTail guys, the Protosses are actually doing very well. StarTail Parting.
Well,
StarTail
Parting didn't make it out of that sick group, but
he's playing very
he's
well.
So good.
Yeah,
though,
they got quite a lineup.
And Squirtle is actually the mastermind on that team. He's the guy that's figuring out these builds and these styles, and both Ace and Parting take those and kind of put their own twist on it. So, they're all very good and slightly different, but Ace is going to have to try really hard to prove himself this season. Parting already fell out. Squirrel, of course, still in it, but seen as the worst of the three. That does take some pressure away, though.
All right, well, we got Stalker being chrono boosted out here. He wants to get rid of this SCV so he can actually start to attack. And looks like the probe won't be lasting too much long either here. Of course, the probe does see, Ace does see that there are both gases have not been taken, so he's going to say, all right, command center coming up here pretty quickly. The response from the Protoss may very well be to just make a Nexus too, so they get the base up at roughly the same amount of time. What do you think about the pylon placement here?
You know, that might just be for scouting and seeing the SCV come around so you can catch it or something like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Are units really going to go over there that early? No.
But just
only
in
an
case.
SCV would. So,
Yeah.
you know, it seems fine. TaeJa, on the other hand, is making a second command center immediately. He sees what Ace is doing, sees that it really does look like a very quick Nexus. And, of course, he can get 2 command centers versus that. And, in fact, he's going to tech up behind it.
You know, it's actually... I am actually really starting to like the pylon placement the more I think about it. Actually, you know how many games we've seen where somebody actually just runs by?
Yeah.
You know, down there and gets an SCV up into the main while the Stalks are trying to push it. It happens, you know, to Terran too, where they're pushing out with the Marines. And what was the game we casted yesterday where he pushed out and then it was a Maru against Oz. Oz just managed to run a probe right through there.
Yeah, and it was a huge moment. By the way, Tasteless, I think he's just going for a quick third Nexus. That's what that pylon truly is for. And yeah, he is going for that. Just a 1-gate, 3 Nexus build. And he should be following this up. We did see him in the Team League follow this up with like 4 gates, some forages, a mortal, and it was like very middle of the road. And that can be good if your opponent is going a little bit middle of the road. But, you know, one thing that we probably do want to see from him, just in case, is a lot of pressure. If you go into 7-gate from this, you can suddenly go over, attack them, keep them in their base, figure out what they're doing very easily. So we'll see if he goes for that or that a little bit more passive style.
He's finally put 3 on gas. It was actually a little bit subtle, but he had 2 on gas for a little bit. Now let's see. We don't see a lot of 3 Nexus builds. This is actually a build from StarCraft 1 that was incredibly common and incredibly strong. 1-gate, 3 Nexus. That was, of course, more doable in StarCraft 1 because people were meching. You had to mech.
Yeah.
So, nice micro here for a... oh, nope, maybe not so nice micro.
Ace just trying to figure out what's going on. And, you know, seeing those 2 bunkers.
He's going to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, with 2 bunkers there, not a ton of Marines. It does look like his opponent's teching up.
SCV is going to spot the third base here.
Nice. Very well done. And, in fact, Ace overcommitting here.
Whoa, this is really sloppy. Are you serious?
He lost 2 Stalkers, man.
Oh, my God, I'm actually totally surprised. And losing the Zealot there as well. Now, guys, when you're doing a quick 3 command center, every unit is so precious.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they bungle the 4. This is actually a train wreck right now. That's minus some energy on that sentry. And you know what? That matters now because, let me tell you, he needs every single force field to try to deal with what Terran's going to do. In fact, I'm going to call this right now. I think Terran could probably just push and kill him.
Well, we'll see. He is going for that the siege tank type of push. He's upgrading his Marines. He's getting a couple more barracks. Not even going for any sort of starport yet. And I don't know. We'll see. You know, Ace is going to have to throw up a lot of gateways, micro well, and he's probably going to need a few Immortals mixed in, too, to take out those siege tanks.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need those Immortals in there. No Immortals, and he will die for sure. So we'll see. I'm curious, actually, if he's even going to go into siege mode right away, you know? He sees the Immortals, he can actually just micro back the tank and shoot down the Immortal with the Marines. A lot of people don't know when to use siege tanks when they're not in siege mode. Like, a siege tank's actually really good when it's not in siege mode.
Yeah, it actually has higher damage output. It shoots so quickly, but, you know, it doesn't have the range. It doesn't have the splash. And, you know, there's certain situations where each mode is good. For instance, the more sentries you see, you want it siege so that you can actually just blow those up in like 2 seconds. And, you know, that's something that can be very painful for Ace. Now, Ace is adding more gates. He just did get a Twilight. We'll have to see if he gets charged. Yes, in fact, he is. A good choice.
All right, I thought he was going to push out there. I hadn't had a shot at that 3rd command center, so I guess... Oh, nice. God, another thing going wrong for Ace here, losing the Observer.
It's pretty rough.
It's pretty gruesome.
TaeJa is going to go ahead and take his 3rd base, but the 3rd base of his opponent up so much earlier here that, you know, TaeJa is going to have to play a little bit passively, I think. You know, by the time he moves out while he's taking this 3rd, you know, his barracks are still making. He's still making reactors. He doesn't really have all that many units that he would need for a really quick, strong push right now. So Ace is going to have, you know, he's going to have his charge. He's getting his forges. He's going to have a huge army by the time TaeJa goes across the map. I think this is just going to turn into a gigantic macro game.
Yeah,
surprise, surprise, 3 base versus 3 base.
Who would have thought that, man?
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. You know, Ace doing a good job as far as macroing goes. As far as controlling his army, I would give it like a 1 out of 10. We haven't seen one successful engagement.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't seen one thing where I'm like, oh, nice trade. It just complete abysmal fail here from Ace. So I'm a little bit concerned when this push actually gets there. I think he's going to wait for the 2 medevacs and then probably go.
Yeah, he can start pushing a little bit with those medevacs.
Oh, see, TaeJa's so good. He scans himself. Says, "Is there an observer over me?" No, there isn't. There's actually about to be one, but it's the thought that he's putting in there. Because if you get that observer, you're in good shape.
All right, so Psystorm is on the way. More gates and 1-1 for Ace.
He can get a timing in here where he hits right before Psystorm finishes.
That's right. And, Psystorm going to be pretty good against this unit composition, but you got to watch out for those siege tanks. If Terran dodges a few times, those siege tanks will snipe any High Templars that try to go forward.
Okay. So he's moving out now. Gets the probe. Now let's see. I mean, he did get 3 bases right away, so he should have a lot of units despite the fact that he lost a bunch. Terran does have a supply lead, but the Army combination, remember, we don't normally see a Marine siege tank against Protoss, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's come a little bit more popular recently. Ghost King has been doing it. Actually did it with great results in his group, getting first place. But this isn't too heavy on siege tanks. Just having a few siege tanks definitely can just help out overall. You can snipe sentries a lot more easily.
It does remind me a little bit of Puma's style where he had all Marines, but he was using ghosts with that too.
Yeah, well, we do have the Ghost Academy just finishing up for TaeJa, so looks like he is going to play a style somewhat similar to what you're mentioning here. Now, 2-2 is on the way. +2 about to finish for TaeJa. He's a little bit ahead in upgrades, but it's pretty even overall.
All right, he's coming in here. Protoss might be out of position. Okay, good. He backs up. Scanning. Wow, TaeJa gets it. Okay. He's keeps scanning himself, shooting down probes.
Yep. We do have a Warp Prism on the way. So it looks like Ace realizes, okay, this army's just standing over here. It's trying to harass me, push me around. Time to go and do some counter-harassment, and that's a good choice. But he's got to be careful to always be in position here because TaeJa is moving up his ramp.
Okay. We have a little counter here that it's not going to work for Ace. Another army engagement that goes terribly wrong. Force building himself out, unless I missed something. It doesn't look he got more than, 3 kills over there?
Just 2, but, it's trying to do a little bit of damage right now is Ace. Not really getting any done.
Oop, he's actually going around from the bottom here. All right, now he could get stormed very easily. In fact, he could just get shredded up. Whoa! I don't know why he would even force field there. He only has zealots. He would have to be hit by the siege tank.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that. Now we do have some Psystorms moving out. A lot of zealots coming down here to the bottom. Didn't leave anything up top, so TaeJa could run up there right now, but he's a little bit out of position to do such. And in fact, Ace going around.
He's going to come around here.
Wow, nice move indeed. And a nice Psystorm drop. Doesn't really do that much, but it does allow him to clean out those siege tanks.
Well, not the best army control again here from Ace. As TaeJa is now retreating back. And, wow, TaeJa was actually struck down there. So he's going to run back home. Let's see if Ace can prevent him from getting a 3rd base here. Kind of hard to storm these armies as they run away. More likely to storm your own units.
You have these charge lots trying to do something over there. In the meantime, the Warp Prism's going to go hit the main base. Tasteless, a lot of zealots in there, and Ace is trying to multitask his way to victory. TaeJa he actually has a great unit spread. He's blocking everything that Ace is doing right now.
I was going to say Ace is multiple attacks everywhere. That's what he wants to do, but TaeJa is actually slapping every single one of them down.
In fact, this little move not really going to do anything. TaeJa going to break down these rocks so that he can actually get down that ramp there, and we do have the 4th base going up for Ace, so that is one good thing, but he's down like 40 supply, just now adding another robo and a robotics bay. That is a good tech switch for him to go into right now. We actually have no Vikings, I think. Yeah, 1 Viking out on the whole map.
Wow, again, if you look at the supply, actually the Terran's been maxed out for most of the game, and Ace is at 174 now. He's at 168 a second ago, but if this game keeps going the way I think the way it has been going, I don't think Ace will win. I mean, he's not doing any damage. The idea behind what he's doing is good. The application of it is not.
Well, the thing is, if TaeJa had misstepped at all, this Ace could have been ahead. He hits a couple nice Psystorms, catches the army out of position, but TaeJa is just playing this like a chess game. He is always moving his units into the right areas of the map. He's zoning everything out beautifully. He's macroing oh so well. And in fact, his bank at this point is 3K, 1K with a maxed army. So I mean, right now, Ace just needs to try to get up to an insane death ball with Colossus, with Psystorm, with Archons, with everything. Oh, and that's not how to do it.
That right there.
That right there is not an example of that.
Another scan there. Getting these, oh my God, he is just so good with each of these engagements. He gets the Archon off, but doesn't matter. All right, now Ace is maxed out back at home, but my God, is TaeJa just looking absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. We do have some Colossus popping out now, Tasteless. In fact, he's got one, but two more on the way. His 3-3 is going to finish here.
Oh, really nice storms.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, you
a ton
can't
of
really
damage
get
being done.
Much more of a good storm than that one.
And cloaking on those ghosts.
EMP right in the middle there on the Sentry, so no force fields here, so he can kite a very Zealot-heavy army here. Storm on his own. Zealots, another storm, then dodge.
And these ghosts actually doing great damage here with no observer around. Targeting down the Colossus as best they can.
Well, if he can get these two Colossi here, no, it's hard to say. It doesn't look like he will. He's going to have to run back, I think.
Well, it looks like he will end up killing off the army, but at what cost? I mean, he's got more supply right this second, but TaeJa has a huge bank right now.
Well, Ace, now's his moment. There is an opening here.
Yeah. You know, what does he do, though? Because his actual army, it doesn't have a lot of meat to it right now.
That is true.
You know, he has some Colossus, yeah, and the rest is basically Stalker Zealot, and he has really no sentries. He does have some High Templars, though, that he's just warped in, so that's going to help out a lot. Blink on the way. Also getting his Plasma Shield upgrades, taking that 5th base. And, yeah, this is actually quite an insane macro game right now. TaeJa taking a while to remax out, though.
Yeah.
It seems as if, well, he has a lot of production buildings, but not quite enough.
Some Zealots coming up here. He wants to get these SCVs, or the Mules, actually, even better. And doing a good amount of damage here. Well, you know, we see from the top left that he's making 3 additional command centers that are not actually, having minerals returned to them. So he may want to try to get one of these true max out things where he's dropping mules, more mules than using SCVs, and just try to overwhelm his opponent.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I mean, the later you get in the game, the more you want to rely on mules as opposed to SCVs. Get that huge true max for Terran. But Ace is setting up like an unbeatable area in the center. You know, he's putting up a lot of cannons. He's really got an insane unit composition right now. So many Colossus and High Templars, with the bulk of his ground army actually being Stalkers, which are going to help him out with the Vikings. So
I love what he's doing with the Warp Prism. The Templars in there. Oh, that's also from StarCraft 1, guys.
Oh, yeah.
And the Terran's got a science vessel out there. Your speed shuttle. Storm at those vultures and tanks, but now we see it being used here on Marines and Marauders.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to open up the center of the map here. This is kind of indicating that TaeJa feels that he's actually in the lead here. I would say they're fairly even. There's a little bit more in the bank here for TaeJa, so he can remax out a little bit quicker, but
TaeJa had control early on, but at this point, with Dark Shrine about to finish and the Warp Prism speed, I'm getting a little bit nervous for him because you do one really good multi-pronged harassment with Dark Templars. Well, this one isn't going to do it. If you do like one really good one where it kind of splits him up, then Ace can push right through that center that was opened up, kill the 5th base of TaeJa, and then TaeJa's like using scans, he's lost economy, everything starts to fall apart.
All right, it looks like Ace is now going to come up from the bottom here. Though he does have a really good amount of observers on the map. What is he doing?
I think he's trading supply right now, really. You know, he's saying, all right,
yeah,
you know
maybe
what?
he says, I don't need Stalkers, really.
He might just want to get like the ultimate unit composition. It looks like he's actually going to go over missile turrets. I think that's what he's going to target. No,
that would actually be the best move. Yeah, shoot down those turrets.
Yeah, but
like, I'm going to make sure the Warp Prism gets in there next time.
Yeah.
He is. He's going to go for the missile turrets.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Oh, the mission was a success. He got the turret.
We do have a lot of DTs warped in towards the top of the map, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. The 4th base of TaeJa could be in a lot of trouble. There's a missile turret there, but it can be taken out oh so quickly.
All right, now he wants to split up these DTs, send them everywhere.
Looks like he actually... Nice Size Storms going down. And
oh my god, almost getting all those ghosts.
Yeah. And look at those ghosts.
He's got to be careful.
So important.
Those are all bunched together. If he sees the blip, oh, he's trying to do it.
And that is a ton of damage incoming. And look at that. All the ghosts get shredded. But a lot of the High Templars are gone. He's going to have to pull back through these cannons. But actually, he's going to attack into this. And this is a huge concave for TaeJa.
Look at this micro here by TaeJa.
It's pretty insane, man. But that's a lot of Colossus and a huge couple of Psy Storms in here. And it looks like TaeJa going to have to run away. His supply plummeting to
Now's
90.
the time. Protoss has to attack right now that 5th center base. He needs to get there, like, now. Yeah. By the way, the DT's doing damage at the top. The lead that TaeJa had for most of the game is just not there anymore.
Yeah, it's basically gone at this point. In fact, you know, Ace might be able to just close this out. That DT has been doing such a great job cutting his economy almost in half.
All right, he needs to use the Colossi here to try to get the SCVs. He's going to be careful. Okay, he does back off. And the planetary goes down. Now, if he goes northbound and actually hits... Oh, never mind. That's actually all completely gone.
Yeah, Ace has taken control of this game.
I think he's actually taken this game.
TaeJa's actually played a beautiful game for most of it, but...
look at this. He's making pylons all over the map inside his base.
Is that right?
Yep.
Makes a little wall and so nothing can rally out.
That's right.
Well, I mean, he might be able to kill this army off, but there's a lot of Psy Storms mixed in, storming those Vikings away.
Wow, the Archon's doing a ton of fantastic damage. Really highlights what you can actually do with splash damage.
3/2/3 Archons, pretty strong if you don't EMP them or at least kite them. TaeJa, his supply is half. His bank is gone. 2 of his expansions gone. GG. And Ace takes game number 1 after, you know what, TaeJa played so well, too.
Well, you know, I think TaeJa didn't really utilize the edge that he had there. I think there's a couple moments he could have done some damage. I think he just let Ace take that 5th base when TaeJa had a lead. He was maxed out. His opponent was at like 165 or something.
You know, Ace took his 3rd base so quickly. Always had enough gas for Psy Storms and Colossi, and he just kept playing the ground game where he's just constantly sitting with his mass death ball. TaeJa just kept on trying to do something there. Didn't really see all that much multi-pronged harassment attempts by TaeJa, whereas with Ace we saw quite a few, even though they didn't really work till the end.
Well, let's see here. TaeJa was looking really good. TaeJa definitely can beat Ace. Ace had a very shockingly poor early game there with his unit engagements, but you know what? It didn't matter. A win is a win. A win is a win is a win, as Shakespeare once wrote.
No, a win is only 1 win, not 3 wins.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's a best of 5. That's actually a win. Wait, who is the poet that wrote a rose is a rose is a rose?
Artosilus?
No, I was trying to... I want to make a joke with that, but I don't know. I don't know my poetry. I know Edgar Allan Poe. What are some other good poets? Eliot Scott.
I don't know.
I don't know my poets, man. I'm not a poetry guy.
Shel Silverstein.
Yeah. That's another good one.
Yeah. Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss, yes.
He's a sick poet, man. I know everything about the snug under the rug, all right?
It's true, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, never mind. I can't get this joke to go anywhere. Well, we're going to go into game number 2. The map of choice is Entombed Valley.
All right. Entombed Valley it is.
Look, you see Ace clapping his hands. Getting
some
blood moving in there.
He's in a good spot if he wins against TaeJa. You have to have warm
hands when you play StarCraft. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people that don't understand how difficult and the taxes is. You have to have blood moving in your hands the same way you can't play piano in an ice cold room.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Or it's harder to play guitar if you're outside in the snow. It's hard to get the feeling in your fingers. Anyways, I could go on forever, man. It's hard to do open heart surgery, when you're in a temperature of the moon. I don't know. All right, we're gonna get this game going here. Let's do this.